We're in downtown Jackson.
Downtown Jackson.
Steve, you think you can beat it?
Oh yeah.
I actually scalpeled a poor little fox on the 126 coming over here.
I guess when I first saw anybody that had a disability, it was you kind of I was offish about it. But then after that, if I got to know you for a while, I was like, so what? Now when I see kids that have disabilities, like,
No big deal.
so?
Right?
Yeah.
But that's what broke the ice for me, meeting you, Steve.
Yeah. In reality, most disabled people can do a lot more than they know. And that's why we do what we're doing now.
That's the whole.
I can. That's the whole purpose of camp. Is
like
getting them outside their comfort zone.
To show them.
Yeah, show them that anything is possible.
Nobody ever came up to me and they were like, haha, your dad's in a wheelchair, because I always saw me not having a problem with it. They always saw me having fun riding on the back of your wheelchair, and so everybody was like, what is there to make fun of? Even if anybody would have tried to make fun of me for you being in a wheelchair, I wouldn't have cared. So at the end of the day, it's made literally, it's been no different than what I'm sure it would have been like if you could walk and everything.
Right.
You just have to hold on super duper tight.
I think I might get out there and try it. I know I won't last all 8 seconds, but I'm thinking like 7.5.
Yeah, boy!
What's going on, baby? Can't walk! Yeah, Joe! Yo, someone get the fireworks.
Rate his moves.
What's up?
Rate his moves.
Rate his moves? 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I need to save the best for last. Why you? Because the best is coming. Oh. The best is coming.
And remember, the rules are absolutely no peeking. Keep those blindfolds on.
Dope, that's it. Got it.
Seal! Steve, proud father moment? Oh my god!
How do you feel about Joe's haircut?
He always says I have a bad haircut.
It's horrible, right?
It's so mean.
No,
Thank
not
you.
bad.
Thank you.
It's not bad.
I don't think it's that bad. It's horrible.
I
No.
don't think it's that bad.
Where are we at, boys?
We are in Denver, Colorado. Today we are setting up an obstacle course and we can't wait to see the kiddos.
This is our NSCD Moves obstacle course. This is a fully adaptive course, and so we have it set up today for folks who are in wheelchairs.
Jacob, you excited for the chorus?
Love what the Wampler Foundation is doing, and I think we're all having a great time. We're learning from each other, we're all celebrating each other, so I think it's important to really show that we can break boundaries. You know, people sometimes look at people with disabilities and think that there are certain limits, and this group has done an incredible job of showing that you can break those boundaries. There are no limits to what you can do, and we just wanted to really celebrate that and come out here and have a good time. Their smiles have been just the best part of the day. Overall, the experience has been incredible. You guys have done an incredible job putting it together, and you know, we're all having a blast.
Well, when she was born, she's diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, but she didn't really have a lot of, I guess, extra complications until she was a year old, and then she got RSV, and she was in the hospital, and it was just in the beginning it was a regular hospital stay like we'd had, and you know, and then she started to get worse and worse and worse, and she ended up getting into the ICU. And I remember them saying that they were so worried to intubate her, and that was a word I had never even heard before. I'm like, what is intubated? But they didn't want to do it because they were worried if they ever did intubate her and put her on a ventilator, she could never come off of it. And so I remember that morning I went down into like the main area of children's, and I know I was getting like a coffee or something, and I saw a little girl who had dark hair like Noelle, and the mom was holding her, and she had all these tubes coming off of her. And I looked at her, and I looked at that, and I was like, I can't do it. Like, and I have a faith, and I was like, God, like, I can't do it. There's no way. And then that night, they said that they were gonna have to intubate her. And in the end, I knew in my heart that meant she was gonna end up with a trach. And I still didn't think, like, I was like, I can't do it. Like, and she's hard enough to move. She's hard enough to like get around. And but in the next 6 weeks, she was intubated for 6 weeks. Somehow I found other people. I found a page of other families who'd been through it, and it helped me realize, like, I can do it. And I think really though, it took other people and seeing them get through the fire and them get through the challenge that helped me realize, okay, I can get through it. So by the time she finally ended up having to get a trach, I was already ready. I was like, okay, I don't know what this is, you know, what's ahead and what it's gonna look like, but I feel like I can do it now, so.
That's a lot of times people miss Noelle's voice because they don't take 5 seconds to just say, like, what did you say? And like, she's speaking to them, and it's like, and then if they don't hear her, it's okay to ask like the caregiver, like, what do you think she's saying? And then they'll relay that message. But people are so fast, so go, go, go. That's because our culture, they forget to just slow down for a second and maybe, you know, catch a name or see what she likes to do or see what she's interested in, you know, that kind of stuff. And so it teaches you to slow down.
And when Kevin was born, it was frustrating because the doctors didn't know what was wrong with him. Casey didn't know what was wrong with him. We couldn't find out anything that was wrong with him. It took 6 months in the hospital, and finally we found out he had a syndrome called Mobius, which is really rare. And now my daughter has taken it upon herself to make as many people as possible aware of Mobius. And Kevin, he goes with us everywhere we go. There's no limits.
Totally.
Yep. He's just part of the family. Yep. We just love him to death.
I guess for our family, like when June was first born, he also has cerebral palsy. Life was really hard when he was a baby. He couldn't sit up, couldn't walk. But I think my moment of like peace was when he got his first wheelchair. We could go places and do normal life again. And then in kindergarten, he was given the ability to do a power chair. So he gained a bunch of more independence, and that's been peace for our family.
But I have a strong faith in God too, and know that He's got amazing plans for us. So, yeah. And this kid is just full of God.
And it was a long time getting a diagnosis for him too. And finally, the genetic testing showed that he has KIF1A.
The formal is called CAND, K-A-N-D, KIF1A associated neurological disorder. So it's a mutation on the KIF1A gene. There's about 300 diagnosed cases in the world, and Turner being one of them. And I think too with nonverbal children that they have a lot to say, you know, and a lot of people don't realize that, and they hear everything and understand, so. Yeah.
As Turner's dad would say, you just have to listen differently. And you can hear everything he says.
So I teach people how to be disability inclusive. And so I think one thing that, parents with neurotypical kids, they don't know how to understand people with disabilities, and they still have this stigma that our culture teaches that we should be scared or we should pity people. And in my mind, you're missing out then. You're missing out on connections and relationships, and you're missing out on these amazing people because you're taught, to be afraid or, to feel sorry for them. And then unfortunately, they're teaching their children that. And that's where I really want to change this idea that, we don't need to fear or pity the unknown. It's okay that our kids are curious. I go into the store with my other kids too, and they'll be like, why is this or why that? Or, kids are curious, but adults are curious too. And at some point, we just stopped asking our questions out loud, and we just started to internalize them, and we don't know. We don't know if we don't ask. We don't know if we're not, willing to learn. And so I would say the biggest thing that parents with neurotypical kids miss is just education, and they miss understanding life and understanding people in a bigger context than what we just see. So.